Hey guys, Anthony here. Today we're going to go over the perfect combo. And what does that look like? So what we mean is in terms of pricing and fitting the vehicles into the price that you're selling it for. And what price ranges have, or what price ranges can you create the perfect combo in a vehicle to sell as quickly as possible? That doesn't make sense, but whatever. It's all on the page. So let's start with, we want to sell a car for, let's say we're going to sell a car for $2,000 to $4,000. And what does that look like? Now this, these may change, the ranges may change up or down based on your market. Like, if it's a super competitive, maybe more expensive price market, you might be looking at $3,000 to $5,000 to even get any kind of a decent car. Or if you're in a different kind of area, it might be $1,000 to $3,000. It's whatever the minimum price right here it is to get like a good, decent car. What I mean by that is I'll show you in our market. Any car under 2,000 is a complete piece of shit. They all have either extremely high miles or they're just screwed up mechanically. Brake system went out, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I have a Prius that needs a battery. So yeah, all these cars have major issues. But then once you start looking from 2,000 to 3,000, these are all good, decent running cars. They might have high miles, but they all run and drive pretty decent, or they will run and drive. So that's what I mean. And then the 4,000 to 6,000 will be the price range where the cars start to get kind of nice. And for us in our market, 4,000 to 6,000 gets you a pretty decent car. Low miles, maybe some decent options. But overall, people still overvalue their cars. Now, what you're going to do is within that first price range of a runs and drives okay kind of car. The age that we found, we don't buy any cars over 15 years old with a few exceptions. So you're going to want it to be 10 to 15 years old, which is, an 09 to a 05 to 09 right now. And you're going to want it to have less than 100,000 miles. Now, these aren't requirements. These will just help the car sell a lot quicker. So if it's like an 07 with 179,000 miles, it's got a sunroof and leather, it's got a few good options. Let's say it's a Camry, so that means the Camry is going to be probably an LE. And it's going to be $3,500. Well, that'll sell pretty quickly. An 07 Camry with 180,000 miles with leather for $3,500 that you paid $2,500 is going to sell pretty quickly. You want the body to have minimal damage. It can have dings and dents. That's fine. You just don't want it to be smashed up. People in general want a good-looking, respectable car. And decent tires are okay because people know that they can get a set of tires for, used tires for a couple $100. But that is what we're looking at. 2006 Hyundai Elantra with some cloth and a sunroof and maybe an aux port, aftermarket radio. It's got 175,000 miles, minimal damage, and 60% tread on the tires. Well, what's that worth? To me, that's worth $3,500 all day in our market. So I'll pay $2,000 to $2,700 because that's a quick sale. Now, when we get into 4,000 to 6,000 miles, 4 to 6,000, we got decently nice cars, good clean options. Options as far as vehicles, good clean options selection. Selection of DAS vehicles. Whatever, I can't type. So these, you're going to want these to be probably 5 to 10 years old, you know. Now the 5 may be a little more unreasonable, but doable. You know, being that it's 2019 and '05 might be like, say, a 2014 Ford Focus with 150,000 miles. You pay 35, so you sell that bitch for 45 to 5,000, and that's a decent deal. Probably 4,500 is a better deal. You're gonna want it to have less than 150,000 miles. Ideally, closer to 100K as possible. Because when people are buying a $4,000 to $6,000 car, kind of in their head is, I like to be as close to 100,000 as possible. When you're buying 2 to 4, you're like, I just want to be under 200. Now this may not apply to trucks in different areas. So like, you know, a $3,000 truck is gonna have 200,000 miles probably. It's just, that's how that game goes. Now when you're up here, you know, you can think, you know, 150 to 170 for trucks, but we're just talking about in general. A lot of options, you know. Once again, let me just make a disclaimer here. We'll make our own rules for trucks. Anyways, these are for like cars and SUVs, cars and, you know, mid-size SUVs, like, you know, not like suburban. Well, yeah, applies to those too, including expeditions, whatnot. So when you got a $4,000 to $6,000 car, you want it to be 5 to 10 years old, under 150,000 miles, as close to 100,000 as possible. Have a lot of options, you know, like leather, third row, auxiliary port, sunroof, unique things that apply to different vehicles. And you want it to be top to the middle top trim level, which is, you know, like when you got a Civic, that's like an EX or EXL. EX is like leather. EX is like sunroof. EXL is leather. Or if you got a Tahoe, that's like an LT with leather, or LTZ, which is like fully loaded. If you got a like Ford Expedition, you know, XLT has the option to have like leather or sunroof or heated seats. But then if you have a Lariat, that'll have leather and probably heated seats. Now, obviously, like King Ranch and Platinum, those are probably not possible, but that's okay. And you want the body to have really no damage other than maybe minor dings, but, you know, great tires. And what does this look like? Let's just say we've got a 2010. No, for sake of argument, we're going to use that Ford Focus example. So the 2012 is when they started the new body style of Ford Focus, which is here. And you see the old one is here. So 2012 is like the first year. So people are like, I like to get a Ford Focus. I want the new body style. So whether you have a 2012 or a 2014 doesn't matter to them. But a 2012 is a lot cheaper. So we're like a 2012 Ford Focus. I think it's SEL is like the trim with leather. It's got 155,000 miles. Good tires. Decent body. And the color is black. Because they have a nice, really nice black metallic paint that they use on those Focuses that I like. So we bought it for, let's say, $3,700. So then we will sell this for $4,900 or $5,000 if you're feeling froggy. Depends on your local market. For my market, $5,000 is pushing it, but $4,900 sounds a lot better. $142. It's got leather. So yeah, you know, that one's 4,500, and hood was damaged from a deer. Okay, so this one's got body damage. Okay, so yeah, I would be very comfortable at 4,900 because it's gonna beat that one all day long. And they've got shitty pictures. Like, what are these fucking pictures? Like, really? Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna sell it for 49 quickly. That's a quick $1,200 profit, and we move on and we go do a happy dance. Now, when it comes to trucks, you're just gonna have to know the market. You know, certain places trucks are really expensive. Certain places maybe not as much. But generally, you can shift these up by 1,000 for trucks. That's been my experience. So there. Now this will apply to trucks. So that's today's video. Hopefully that made sense. This is Anthony with Pro Dealer Secrets, and I'll see you on the next one.